97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They got him. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Israeli officials say the leader of Hamas is dead, taken out by Israeli forces in Gaza.
This follows an Israeli operation in southern Gaza today, reportedly in the city of Rafah, Gaza's third largest city that sits next to the Egyptian border. This was not a planned intelligence operation, according to officials, but rather a ground patrol that intercepted movement in southern Gaza. Ultimately, Israeli forces reportedly fired on that movement, and among the cell of Hamas militants was the leader, Yahya Sinwar.
Fox's Trey Yingst in northern Israel. Sinwar, believed to be a mastermind of the October 7th attacks. President Biden had been briefed after reports of Sinwar's death. The U.S. defense chief speaking earlier with his Israeli counterpart. The Secret Service needs an overhaul. That bottom line from an independent panel set up by President Biden after the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania.
The 52-page report is clear in its primary recommendation, which is new leadership at the Secret Service and refocusing its core protective mission.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The report cites 6 failures in the July shooting, including lack of personnel, communications issues between local police and Secret Service, and failure to encounter the gunman who had been spotted 90 minutes before the shooting. The panel also has 9 deeper concerns,
including corrosive cultural attitudes regarding resourcing and doing more with less, a troubling lack of critical thinking by Secret Service personnel both before, on, and after July 13th, including regarding assessing the level of risk posed to certain protectees.
Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe says they're working on a plan to increase and retain personnel, modernize technology, and build a sustainable training program. The former president speaks tonight at an annual dinner event for Catholic Charities in New York, while Vice President Harris has 3 campaign events in Wisconsin. America is listening to Fox News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We start a little bit of an October warming trend as we go through our Thursday afternoon. Nothing extreme, but feels pretty good. Sunny skies, 69 this afternoon. Tonight, the full moon under clear skies. Coming up when the sun goes down, 43 for the low. Friday, sunny and 71. 45 Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, 75 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 5-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
And then what I did was, it might surprise you, I got super.
Well, welcome into the Annie Fry Show. That's about par for the course for today. Jamie Lissow talking about watching the Kamala Harris-Bret Baier interview last night and seeing how well that went. Today's YouTube live chat poll, we're asking you the question. We're going to talk a lot about it today on the show, but we want to know what you think as well. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? Lots of people going into yesterday's interview talking about how they just did not trust Bret Baier to do it in a fair way. You were very concerned that this wouldn't be something that was challenging to her. And I think we were able to walk through a lot of what Bret Baier did yesterday. And the question that I asked and posed, and I still think it was important, was, is he going to go quantity or quality on subjects? Is he going to work hard to get credit for asking every single question that is important to every single viewer out there in a matter of a 30-minute interview that was granted to Bret Baier, and to sit down and have that conversation for a mere 30 minutes with Kamala Harris? How would that end up materializing? How would he approach it? Because it's all about the approach. Scheduled to meet at 5 o'clock Eastern, 30 minutes slated on the time, and Bret Baier explained how he really was working to get as much of this done as he possibly could, but having a 6 o'clock show, there's a really quick turnaround in that type of a process.
When the kicker in football, they call a timeout right before he's going to kick the field goal. They're icing the kicker. So we were supposed to start at 5 p.m. This was the time they gave us. Originally, we were going to do 25 or 30 minutes. They came in and said, well, maybe 20. So it was already getting whittled down. And then the vice president showed up about 5:15. We were pushing the envelope to be able to turn it around for the top of the 6 o'clock. So that's how it started. And I could tell when we started talking that she was going to be tough to to, redirect without me trying to interrupt. I did this with President Obama. At one point, I just said, Mr. President, I know you like the filibuster. I just didn't even have the chance to sometimes redirect in those ways. So I had a lot of other questions.
That's how the interview ended up starting. She was late. She was 17 minutes late for the interview that was limited on time, and then they just said, okay, we'll give you 20 minutes. So you have a 30-minute interview, and I know to somebody who isn't used to being in that position that 30 minutes seems like a long time to cover a lot of subjects. I carry out 12-minute, 15-minute interviews with people on the show all the time, and there is a ton of stuff that at the end of that interview, I'm like, I didn't even ask that. What was I thinking? Facepalm. Come on, Annie, be better than that. And then you go back and you look at the things that you did ask, and you're like, gosh, I really didn't want to not ask that. Instead, it goes, I'm just telling you to take my word for this as a like C-level, as in C, as in the grade, not like C-level, interviewer compared to Bret Baier and his expertise. 30 minutes goes by super fast. 20 minutes goes by super, super fast. So Bret Baier had to do what we talked about yesterday and decide, do I go hard in on all of the subjects or do I go hard in on making her prove that she can answer just one single question? That she can show the American people that she has the wherewithal to go through the thinking process, to actually have a discussion with somebody, to try to convince the person that they have a grasp and that they have a plan and that they are willing to do what it takes to make that plan come to fruition. So they show up late, they shorten the length of the interview, and then this is how it wrapped up.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these.
So there you have the explanation of how the thing ended, which is people in the background like they're looking like they're trying to land a plane going, stop, this is a disaster. It's kind of like if they turn around and look at the camera and be like, Leslie Nielsen, nothing to see here. Please disperse. That's the way it felt. Kamala Harris was pressed on important issues that matter to the American people. Kamala Harris was put in a position where she had the opportunity to go in deep on some of these topics, and she wasn't capable of doing it. I think that Bret Baier was not only fair, but I think that he should have made a lot of skeptics very proud yesterday to know that journalism still exists in this type of capacity, to understand that we can still push and ask hard questions and refuse to be courted through the interview by the person who is running for office, to be wooed by the potential power that person might hold. Bret Baier did a very good job in handling this situation, and I think that it should be encouraging to a lot of viewers who were skeptical otherwise. We're going to see if we can listen to and watch a little bit of this first question that was asked of Kamala Harris, and really one of the most important ones facing Americans today about the border.
Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Bret,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Bret.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
Kamala Harris did a very good job of making sure that she did acknowledge the hurt that was levied by those individuals who were directly affected by these policies. But at the same time, she also was very dismissive of the idea that her policies are the things that resulted in these actions. She doesn't account for that.
Premise. Jocelyn Nungare.
So she goes on to talk about how she pushes it on this border deal. She pushes it on the failed border deal that she blames on Donald Trump for somehow or another derailing. Donald Trump is the least influential person in elected office. He wasn't even in elected office at the time. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are shepherding this through. Donald Trump has so much power over the people in the Senate as a person who's sitting out right now, not even in an elective office. He had so much power over these people. He just simply said, don't pass it. And they said, okay. Well, Byron Donalds tweeted out yesterday. He said why the Senate border deal failed. And he gives 10 points. Here are 10 reasons why a congressman points out that the border deal failed. Number 1, it codified catch and release. Number 2, it let in 1.8 million illegals, I'm pretty sure yearly. Number 3, it funds sanctuary cities. Number 4, it funds NGOs moving illegals. I was in a Catholic Charities when we went down to McAllen, Texas, and I sat in there and we asked questions about how the process goes. And they basically just take people in, wait for an address that is associated with the individual or the child or whatever it might be that's sitting in that Catholic Charities, and they just pass them along. Not some sort of proof of relationship or care or concern. They just need an address. They put them on a bus outside of Catholic Charities and off they go. Number 5, provides lawyers to illegal immigrants. Number 6, provides work permits to illegal immigrants. Number 7, there is nothing in this bill, in this Senate border deal, there is nothing in it that allows them to deport people who are here illegally. It didn't. Number 8 did not include any immediate wall funds. Number 9, it had very weak asylum screening. And number 10, here's a fun one. In the Senate border deal that Republicans decided, no, we're not going to support, and the thing failed. Number 10 is that it provided $60 billion, billion with a B, to Ukraine. Slip that one right in there in the bottom. There's 10 reasons from future Representative Byron Donalds' Twitter account that you can go read right now and see 10 reasons why Republicans and conservatives, completely outside of the realm of Donald Trump, would have said hell no to that bill. And they should have said no. The policies, 94 executive orders of Donald Trump's, were overturned by Joe Biden when he got into office. 94 executive orders, 94 individual actions by the Biden-Harris administration to undo what Donald Trump had done. And we result in these types of numbers. And she wants to just blame it on Trump? Boy, we'll get to more of that as the show goes on, and we are very excited to do so. We need to know, what do you think? Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? I think that this is going to be an interesting one to find out how the results shake out. Bret Baier was tasked with the opportunity to challenge Kamala Harris for the first time that she's been truly challenged in her, less than 3 months of running for president of the United States without ever having to earn a vote from anybody in a primary anywhere. You have the opportunity to challenge Kamala Harris, and I'd love to know if you think he did so fairly. Annie Fry YouTube channel to vote. When we come back, we're going to speak with Hans von Spakovsky. Some news coming out on the election front, specifically in Georgia. I keep seeing judges ruling on this, that, and the other thing. Which is it? What is going on in Georgia? We go to the expert when it comes to election integrity. Hans von Spakovsky on the Annie Fry Show. Next.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Civia Law, if you have been looking for somebody who can help you plan your will, your trust, get your powers of attorney in order, you need to not put this off any longer. I know sometimes this is something, it seems like this really, really big undertaking. And I'm telling you what, if you've ever been on the end of somebody who you love dearly, who's passed away, and they didn't have anything planned out, it is an enormous task to go through. Probate, costing you time and money and a lot of privacy. Making sure that you can protect your loved ones in the event of your passing is incredibly important. Plus, you know that your will is actually taken care of. Your wills, your trust, your powers of attorney, when you call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. Civia Law will start the process of setting up a strategy session with you so that you can get a 2-week turnaround of completed documents from the time you sit down with them to plan out what you're going to do to protect your assets and to protect your heirs. Civia Law is a wonderful organization with offices across the bi-state region. Visit them in Edwardsville, Wentzville, East Dalton, Swansea, and Mount Vernon. You can call for your strategy session today, 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, online at Civia, that's S-I-V-I-A, civialaw.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Hi, Charles Payne here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors that I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
If your family has been touched by Alzheimer's, join with 97.1 listeners and many others at St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's on Saturday, October 26th at Chesterfield Park. It's a community of support. Register today at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Secondhand from a dealer in Atlanta.
Today in Georgia, a judge ruled that election officials have to certify results, even if voter fraud is suspected. And around the state, Democrats are suing to prevent drop box surveillance, hand counting ballots, and voter ID protections. Why are Democrats trying to make elections less secure?
Well, you got to think to yourself when those are the types of things that are bubbling up, you're kind of like tilting your head and going, what? Why? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Hans von Spakovsky with us right now. Let's talk. Oh, do we lose him? Oh, he's on video. That's right today. He's on video. That's right. Hi, Hans. Good to have you here. We appreciate you coming in, and you are the expert when it comes to election integrity. You wrote the book on it, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. They don't want us to even be able to look at the drop boxes in Georgia. What is that about?
Well, when you combine all this together, it's like they want to make it easy to cheat.
Yes.
And this is one of those instances where the leadership of the Democratic Party is totally out of touch, actually, with their constituents. Because, like on voter ID, remember, they're still totally opposed to voter ID. Georgia's actually got a very good voter ID law. The latest polling I've showed on this showed that 81% of Americans support voter ID, 69% of Democrats. 69%. That is a overwhelming number. And yet their leadership is out there saying, oh, we shouldn't have to show an ID. And, guarding and surveilling drop boxes? Well, we don't want that to happen. Why in the world would you want anything like that unless you want to make it easy for people who are engaging in fraud to be able to stuff huge numbers of fraudulent absentee ballots in the ballot boxes? There's no other reason to oppose that.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, and
it is
and especially in Georgia. Georgia seems to be one, at least polling wise. Donald Trump has had it's not a huge lead in Georgia, but a steady lead in Georgia. I would say It's not as close as some of the other swing states are, even though they are all close. What was this ruling that came through? The news alert came through yesterday from Georgia, a Georgia judge talking about the certification of the election results, regardless of allegations of fraud.
Well, it was a bad decision by a bad judge. I can elaborate on that, but I'll tell you, in essence, he said that no matter what election officials see, no matter what evidence they have of massive fraud could occur, obvious, blatant, and yet he says, oh, you got to certify the election anyway. I think that is wrong because as an election official in a county, you swear an oath to uphold all the laws of the state. And that includes, by the way, all the laws that say you can't commit fraud. So I think that was just a bad decision. He also said that an election rule that was passed basically in conformance with state law that said you have to reconcile at the end of the day, the number of ballots that were put into the ballot box with, for example, the number of voters who actually registered, when they came in, the number of votes that the computer scanner says it counted before they went in the ballot. You just have to make sure those numbers are the same. Why you can't do that either.
What?
Which makes no sense.
I was going to say, tell me the part that I'm missing legally, why maybe I don't agree with it, but is there any logic behind taking that off the table to make sure that your numbers match up at the end of the day? Like, what am I not thinking about?
It was interesting. The judge said, this is in accord with the law, but there's not enough time to train election officials between now and the election to be able to do it, and it'll cause chaos. Look, I used to be a county election official in Georgia. And the idea that it would cause chaos or big delays for the two folks who run a poll at the end of the day to simply open up the ballot box, count, are there 1,000 ballots in there? And then check the number on the computer scanner. Does it show that it counted 1,000 ballots? That's not difficult. That's not going to cause chaos. It's easy. And listen, if the computer scanner says, well, I counted 1,000 votes, but when you count them in the ballot box, there are 1,050. That means the scanner is messed up and didn't count all of the ballots. Obviously, you would want to know that. And yet this judge says, oh, no. But this is, I don't know, Ann, if you know about it, this is a bad judge. A year ago, he suddenly declared Georgia's abortion law, which has been in place since 2019, he said it was unconstitutional. The Georgia Supreme Court almost unanimously overturned his decision, said he was wrong. So what does he do? A month ago, he issues a decision saying it's unconstitutional again, defying the state Supreme Court, and they just issued a stay of his ruling. That's the kind of judge you have assigned to this case.
It's bizarre to observe from the outside looking in as someone who's by no means an expert on the legal system, which is why we have experts like you, Hans von Spakovsky, on with us, who is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, as well as a former FEC commissioner. You hear about these rulings like this, and everybody seizes up on whatever the ruling is, super good or super bad for whatever their side is on whatever the issue is. And then there's always an appeal, and then everybody has to sit and wait again. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait. Is this judge's ruling final for this election, or will we see an appeal 70 times before the actual election gets here in 19 days?
Well, it's probably too late to get it changed. I mean, the only thing that could possibly happen is if they file an immediate appeal of this decision and the appeals court or the Georgia State Supreme Court issues a stay saying, no, his order won't go into effect while this is on appeal. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I suspect it probably won't get done because we're less than 3 weeks from Election Day, and early votings are starting in the state, and so I suspect the upper courts, the appeals, the Supreme Court are going to say, well, we just don't want to get into this right now.
Oh, man. We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation. You talked a little bit about the ruling about the certification of the results, even if there's an allegation of fraud. And I want to ask you, since you were the expert when it comes to these things, to explain to us in simple terms the certification process, because these are things that we've been hearing about for years now. Questions about certifications. There's, slates of electors. There's all of these things that we only talk about when election season comes around, unless you're nerds like maybe we are here on the Andy Fry Show. Explain the process to me and what this ruling does to that process.
Well, what happens on Election Day, as you know, is, of course, the votes have been cast and finally get counted. They get tabulated. And oftentimes in some states, the day after the election, they do what they call a canvass, where they go over the numbers again from each polling place to make sure that there were no mistakes and no errors. And then what happens is whoever the chief election official or the county board of elections for each county, They have to have a meeting. And at that meeting, they decide, okay, the results of the counting of ballots, is it final? Has everything been resolved? Can we now declare these are the official results of the election in our county? That's what certification is. It's the local election officials declaring these are the official results of the election, and here's our signature in which we all certify. This is the official count and official end of the election in our county. That's what certification is.
And so if there are people in that meeting and they're saying, oh, no, we have numbers that don't match up, or we, right. I don't know, pipes bursting in the middle of the night, whatever it might be, if those allegations are there, even if they're very obvious, evidentiary, provable, what did the judge say about the requirement to certify those results?
He says you can't do anything about it. You, the election official, can't do anything about it. He says all you can do is make a note for the record so that if a lawsuit is filed after certification, why, that's up to the courts to determine. You, the election official, you can't do anything about it. You have to certify it, which, like I said, as a former county election official in Atlanta, in Fulton County, makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, we're just laying the groundwork here. It seems like, I don't want to know how the movie ends and not like the ending that we can see coming, right. and know that we can't do anything about it. The last question I have for you, Hans, and I think that this is one that is weighing on a lot of people's minds as we get very close, 19 days from Election Day, which gives us election night. What states do you expect us to not have results from at the conclusion, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., I'm talking right. Central Time, midnight on election night?
Well, Pennsylvania goes to the top of my list because of the fact that, they've changed the law there to allow absentee ballots to come in after Election Day. So I really don't know how long it's going to take them there to get the results in. I would also be worried about North Carolina simply because of the hurricane damage there, which affects the counties affected are about 1/5 of the vote in the state.
It's a lot.
And that's a lot of votes. So hopefully they are going to be able to get the votes counted. Hopefully people will be able to vote, get the votes counted and get it in on time. But I just don't know if that's going to be a problem. Georgia had about 55 counties affected by the hurricane, and I don't know if that's going to delay the election. And look, Florida has greatly improved its election since 2020. I mean, they've become one of the top states in the country, but man, they had a lot of hurricane damage too. So again, I don't know how much that's going to delay the results out there. And Arizona has been the subject of huge fights, and we had a very close election last time. So again, I don't know how quickly we're going to get an answer there.
Do you feel like Arizona is in a better position for the 2024 election than the 2020?
Slightly better. They've been so embarrassed, I think, by some of the problems they had, including, as you know, one of the last elections where the machines they were using for printing ballots quit working on election day, and they couldn't print out ballots. And I'm hoping that the election runs smoother. The problem there is that in 2023, a Democrat replaced the prior Republican Secretary of State. And it's not that I have anything against Democrats, but this particular Secretary of State, any measures to improve the integrity of the election process, he's against.
Oh, that's frustrating. So you're saying, I heard you say Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida all have reasons to believe that maybe there won't be an election night result to report.
Right.
In any of those cases, in any of those states, is it possible, knock on wood, that it would go the way I would want it to go, that the margin of victory at the time at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight Eastern, that the margin of victory is such that they can go ahead and report it?
Yeah, no, I think that could very well happen. But again, that look, what the polling shows. We had a very close election. I saw this morning that Trump is now 2 points ahead in the national polls, but national polls don't really tell you what's going on in each state, and that's an issue. Plus, voting started in places like Virginia at the end of September, so a lot of people have already voted. So it's very possible we could quickly get a result, but that's going to depend on the margin of victory of whoever is ahead.
All right. Well, Hans von Spakovsky, thank you so much for lending your former FEC commissioner expertise to us here. And I encourage people to check out your book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. It's a must read, especially for people who want to understand these things better. Hans, we're grateful for you. Thanks for being here again today.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Of course. Happy to have you. Hans von Spakovsky there, always a great interview. Make sure you check out the Annie Fry Show podcast if you want to hear the whole conversation. If you didn't get to hear it, we'll have that up shortly here on the Annie Fry Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. It's up there. Go check it out. When we come back, Wiggins America in studio with us right here. And you can go vote in that YouTube live chat poll if you want to join us on there. That's the first time we've had Hans on the video with us. That was wonderful. I knew that was happening, and then I went to look at the phone, and he wasn't there, and I thought we lost him, and he was looking at me. That was interesting. On the YouTube live chat poll, did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview, yes or no? Got to let us know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and our live broadcast there. Wiggins America. Next, don't go away.
Ransom got rotten, a piece of my childhood that'll never be forgotten. It was.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I can't replace the way it made me feel.
The Retirement Advisory Group, they want to make sure that you are comfortable going into retirement. They want to make sure that you know exactly what is going to happen once that retirement sets in. That's the expectation that you can have when you sit down with that initial free, no cost, zero obligation retirement review with Thomas Helbig or Bob Kershaw or Tammy Kershaw. Wonderful people who are dedicated to making sure that your retirement is, in fact, worry-free. And when I say worry-free retirement, understanding your own personalized structured income plan, that's what takes the anxiety out of that retirement phase. So if you are very close to retirement, if you're ready to make that transition in the next year, few years, whatever it might be, you could already be retired and you want to make sure that you made the right moves. The Retirement Advisory Group is there to advise you in the best way possible. Join their clients who have never lost a penny. Call 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, or find them online at retirementkey.com.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
There's more to the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's than just walking, and even more reasons to join us for families facing the disease today. For more time, for treatments, we're closer than ever to stopping Alzheimer's. But to get there, we need you. Join us October 26th at the Chesterfield Amphitheater for St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Register today at alz.org/STL Walk. That's alz.org/STL Walk.
We've been here 30 years. 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Well, as an informed voter, I'm assuming you watched the interview on Fox News yesterday with Bret Baier and Kamala Harris. Our poll question today is, did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? Let us know. It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. We'd like for you to participate. Find out what you think. It is 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
Informer, you know, say that I miss no me, I go blame. I keep boom boom down. Take the man that say that I miss no me, stamp somewhere down the lane. I keep boom boom down. Informer, you know, say that I miss no me, I go blame. I keep boom boom down. Take the man that say that I miss no me, stamp somewhere down the lane. I keep boom boom down.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! We interrupted Linky Boom Boom Down. Whatever that was.
Sounds like a Ryan Shire Wigglesworth reading waiting to happen.
Just the lyrics of that song?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not opposed to that. Let's talk about what the young people, what this younger generation is doing in America right now. There's a few trends that I'm going to run by you, see what you think about them. The first is, thank you, Ethan, for joining us and representing Gen Z.
You're welcome.
The first one is that Gen Z is confused why older generations, like us apparently, but even older than us, are using boomer ellipses. They say it's insane
Linky
at
boom
best.
boom.
Linky boom boom down. They say when typing a
That
large
sounds like
paragraph,
a commercial you'd hear on a station like this. Are you a boomer and feeling leaky?
Well, try our leaky boom boom down.
Or do you want the leaky boom boom up?
check out Beta Prostate.
We just lost half our audience. Just the men, though. The women thought it was hilarious.
They're loving it. Hey, welcome back, ladies.
Yeah.
So when typing a large paragraph, older adults might use what has been dubbed boomer ellipses, multiple dots in a row, also called suspension points.
Are they just 3 dots, which is what you call an ellipsis?
That is correct.
Not boomer ellipses. They're just ellipses.
Or suspension points. To separate ideas, unintentionally making messages more ominous or anxiety-inducing and irritating.
This is what
to Gen Z.
No. Gen Z is anxious and irritated. That's just the way it is. Yes?
We are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I Gen Z? Is that what I am? We've
I
had this
believe so.
conversation before. I don't know what I am. I always forget.
What about ellipses? Do you use ellipses in text messages?
No.
You don't?
I know someone at this station that does to me, though.
I think I do sometimes, but
Do
I
you?
don't do it often.
Well, I wasn't referring to you.
Okay, good.
Was it me?
No.
No, okay.
No one in this room.
Somebody at the station.
You can't use an ellipsis when it should be a period or an exclamation point or question mark. Like, you can't ask a question like, are you going to get that sound? ...
Yeah, it's like...
That's like, hey, jerk. But if you say, are you going to get that sound ? It's a question that needs to be answered. But the ... is the little extra sass.
Well,
on the end.
here's where it comes in, right? For Gen Z, it is that, what are you trying to insinuate? And for boomers, it's not. So there's just a miscommunication
I
somewhere.
don't know if I'd underestimate the boomers. What year are you born?
2000.
1997 to 2012 is Gen Z.
So I'm Gen Z. I'm a Zer.
You're a Gen Zer the way we are millennials, because millennials is 1981 to 1996.
And I'm 1981.
And I'm 84, and you're 83.
83.
Yeah, so
I'm right on
the
border.
outskirts.
Yeah, I'm borderline Gen X, but
just so everybody understands, though, the youngest millennials are 28 right now, so if you want to crap on young people, you give it to Ethan's generation.
Yeah.
Get off the
give it
millennials
to me.
back.
or Gen Alpha.
Dot.
You can go even younger now with the next gen with Gen Alpha too.
We've
You don't have
got
to do Gen Z.
401ks.
The oldest Gen Alpha is 11. Leave
Yeah.
them alone.
I don't care. Go after them.
Who named them? Like, we're going to be the alphas.
The internet.
Millennials were supposed to be Generation Y. They are Generation Y. But we also came of age over the millennium, which was a big deal.
I like that boomers
that turned out to be nothing.
and
You guys
millennials
special.
have a name. Gen X, Z, Alpha. I don't love that. The example that the example they gave is one that you kind of gave when somebody should use a period or an exclamation point, and instead they use ...
What about when you start
thanks.
a sentence with
...
so? So are you gonna?
So ...
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ethan's starting to break out in a rash and twitch a little
Actually,
bit.
the more
over
we talk about this, the more I kind of agree with Gen Z.
there.
You got to use it right, though.
Doesn't it?
You're one of us.
Doesn't it completely matter who's sending it?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
does.
and that's like anything.
Right. All right, next trend from Gen Z. They are feeling guilty about taking lunch breaks and even skipping meals at work.
Good. Welcome to our experience
Exactly.
growing up.
Yeah.
That's
Well, a current experience
actually, I
makes
think
lunch difficult.
elder millennials, we take on the work ethic of the older generations that are out there, and then that kind of tapered off throughout the millennial generation.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like young people are at least mindful of, I'm here to do a job.
It says 47% of Gen Zers miss out on lunch twice or more per week, skipping lunch to just get more work done. I guess I'm a little surprised by that.
I am too.
We have a very interesting relationship with lunch.
We
here
don't.
on
We
the
don't have lunch.
or you kind of
Did you got a mouse in your pocket?
wedge it in somehow, and like I run and try to get something. Otherwise, you're just doomed until 3 o'clock. Brad eats lunch at 3:05.
3:05.
Yeah.
I don't eat lunch.
His lunchbox with his barbecue chicken and his yogurt, and then Wiggins usually is gone between the
11,
period of
11,
11 and
15.
11. Yeah,
Yeah.
and usually I know that he's downstairs at KFC.
Every once in a while, I'm pulling into the station and I see Ryan Wiggins walking just like Will Ferrell and Elf through St. Louis, just very happy.
Yeah,
'cause
getting
he's
hit by
on
cabs,
his way to
but
go
it doesn't
into
matter.
food.
Yep, just looking for
Not
food.
concerned about a thing around him.
No,
that gum
swinging
under-
his arms with
Hi,
a really
buddy.
broad
Yeah.
What's your
step,
name?
and he's just happy.
You got to have enthusiasm because we're in the middle of a food desert, and you really got to search.
You literally had KFC for a year,
Okay, fine.
and it's in our building.
KFC is
There are
downstairs.
So
Papa
is
John's
Papa
downstairs?
John's,
And
which
so
you
is
eat
Papa John's.
regularly.
There's still a Smoothie King? Or
And
no?
Schnucks is right down the street for their food.
I want to thank you, Ethan, for bringing up my point. All the rest of the restaurants have abandoned us.
And they've abandoned downtown.
And
But that's a
abandoned
different
downtown.
segment.
The new Gen Z status symbol is, of all things, super expensive snacks. Increasingly, young people are hankering for pricey foods. In a McKinsey survey in February, groceries represented the top category.
Is there a better indication that inflation has ruined everything? That instead of getting an expensive handbag, you're like, look how expensive my snacks are.
Yeah, no expensive cars.
What is an expensive snack?
That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Gen Z and millennial respondents said they plan to splurge on snacks, outpacing restaurants, travel, and fitness. To be sure, the Gen
fitness.
Z is doing this.
That's a problem.
Yeah. They said that they're doing this as a status symbol because it's so hard to afford other status symbols.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That they are buying things like.
Hope you're voting for Trump.
Have you heard of Poppy? I don't know what this is. It's a beverage.
Like
and
the opioid?
PAPI?
POPPI. And Olipop?
Oh, is that like a kombucha?
Maybe. I don't know.
Sparkling
The only
something?
one I recognized in here that gets put into this category is Liquid Death. Liquid Death is water. If you're not familiar with it, it is just a can of water. But it looks like it's a tattoo on the outside, and it's called Liquid Death. And you pay more for it.
And it's what gives you life.
It's it's quite opposite the name. But people, Gen Z especially, is grabbing onto these things to...
Oh, see, Tiffany says it's a probiotic soda, which I am... That's why I thought it was like a kombucha.
Ah, okay.
You're getting to that age
apple
where it
cider
helps you
vinegar.
go. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Apple cider vinegar?
Yeah.
You ever had that stuff?
Yeah, tadpole water. Have you had that? You know what that is?
Yeah, I do know what tadpole water is, actually.
In the trendy sense or in the water that tadpoles swim in sense?
Oh, the tadpole water, the stuff that tadpoles are in.
That was incredibly convincing. Thank you. Go on. Totally believe you now.
The first option thing you said.
This is where the old people come to hear the cool things.
This is where frogs come from.
Well, wouldn't two frogs love each other? They get in the
beautiful
water.
thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It's actually,
that mother and father tale.
It's not a beautiful thing. No, it's not a beautiful thing.
It's an icky boom boom.
They're
Two frogs love each other very much.
Boom, boom.
As Andy said, they get in the water, and then you don't know what
You
happens.
always take it too far. We dance around the subject, and the people who want to know understand, but you make it clear for everybody in the car with Mom right now. Knock it off.
You're talking about amphibian intercourse. All right, last one. The name of this hour now, by the way.
No, it's not. Not the hour. You don't get the hour. You get one segment.
I do
Hour
podcasts,
one.
You get
though.
one.
I
Hour
get to do
one,
the podcast.
amphibian intercourse.
The hour, if hour one is amphibian intercourse, which we've now said 4 times in this segment, I am going to Steve. If you do that, if you name the hour that, when we had a very intellectual conversation with one man whose name is Hans von Spakovsky, and you lump that under that category.
Anyway.
No, Steve, we need to talk.
My point is,
no,
that's how tadpoles are made.
in the water,
In the water.
which you
And
drink
they're
for
cute.
health.
Yep, you drink that
benefits.
tadpole water right after all that nasty stuff's happened in it. Yuck. Anyway, last one.
Get it together, man.
No, there are times that you're like, I'm on the radio right now. This is one of them. Nearly half of young Americans are relying on the bank of mom and dad to get by. And parents...
This just in. This
parents
generation.
are having to figure out
Ethan
when
says
to
pour one
turn
out.
off the tap. The study found that 46% of adult Gen Zers rely on financial help from their parents, ranging from covering everyday expenses to helping with significant financial commitments such as rent, mortgage payments, and other debt repayments. The big question is, and I don't think any of us can answer this question, but this is more posed to you if you're listening, when do you turn that off? It's got to be different for everybody.
It's absolutely based on it's a case-by-case basis because it's like, what is your kid contributing? If they're in med school and they're working their tail off to be a doctor or something like that, and you're helping them out along the way, that's one thing. If you're just facilitating a lifestyle of laziness, then
and debauchery.
maybe, or just laziness.
Ethan.
Ethan's got a job, which he does very well, I might add.
Oh, how kind.
Dakota Wood when we come back.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
RulerFoods.com has the list of all of the extra savings that you can enjoy when you shop at Ruler Foods. The ads that they have that list the things that I often tell you about here on the show. You can go to RulerFoods.com and check out the whole ad so you can see what matches the groceries you like to put in your cart. But I want to tell you, when you shop at Ruler Foods, you are going to get top quality products, the name brands that you know and love and shop at every grocery store that you can go to. You're also going to be able to shop Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, which means you're going to be able to save extra. Right now, when you shop at Ruler Foods, you can save on Kroger skillet meals or Smartway spices, 88 cents. Kroger baby carrots, a 16-ounce bag, or Kroger microwave-ready jumbo russet potatoes, 88 cents. Kroger diced tomatoes, wonderful for chili if you're making that. Or Kroger pasta, 88 cents. And there's a lot more. So find the savings at the Ruler Foods closest to you by going to visit them online at rulerfoods.com.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much. But the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A possible turning point in the Middle East. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Now that the leader of Hamas is dead.
Yahya Sinwar was killed in an Israel Defense Forces operation in Rafah in southern Gaza. It's more than a year since he organized and directed the attack on southern Israel that triggered the war. As Hamas's military leader in Gaza, Sinwar had huge influence over negotiations for the release of Israeli hostages. It was believed he was using them as human shields, but no hostages were found in the operation in which Sinwar was killed.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, Israel's defense minister, is calling for surrender in Gaza and the release of remaining hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the war isn't over, also offering this message to hostage families.
It's an important moment in a war. We will continue with all force until bringing all those who are dear to you, who are dear to us, we'll bring them all home.
Through a translator there, Netanyahu says Hamas will not rule Gaza. He calls Sinwar's death an opportunity for Gaza's people to free themselves from the group's tyranny. Just getting word of 3 more Americans detained in Venezuela, accused of terrorist activities. Venezuela's interior minister announcing the detentions, but not saying when they happened. Last December, dozens of prisoners, including 10 Americans, were released by Venezuela after months of negotiations with the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris holds 3 events in Wisconsin today, while Trump running mate J.D. Vance visits Pennsylvania.
If you want to lower prices on American families, the most important thing that we need to do is unleash Pennsylvania energy workers. Drill, baby, drill. That'll lower prices for all of us.
Harris running mate Tim Walz will campaign with former President Bill Clinton in North Carolina. Former President Trump speaks at an annual charity dinner tonight in New York. America is listening to Fox News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We start a little bit of an October warming trend as we go through our Thursday afternoon. Nothing extreme, but feels pretty good. Sunny skies, 69 this afternoon. Tonight, the full moon under clear skies. Coming up when the sun goes down, 43 for the low. Friday, sunny and 71. 45 Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, 75 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Cassins knows that when others can't, Cassins can. That's why when you go online to cassinscan.com for your vehicle purchase, that you're starting the process out on seeking out what kind of vehicle might be right for you, or possibly you know exactly what you're looking for when you shop at Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. They have wonderful new vehicles for you to choose from and a great selection of used vehicles as well. I have purchased both in 2019. We bought ourselves a brand new 2020 Chrysler Pacifica. Driving it, still love it. 97,000 miles on it that we've put on it, and expect to continue to keep driving it until it won't go any longer. And we've also purchased a Jeep used from them, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we love that as well. They were able to help guide us through the process of which vehicle would be right for us. I thought I wanted a trim on the Chrysler Pacifica that was higher than the one we bought, and they actually said, you know, for your money, I would say go with this. And we listened to them, and I have been very grateful for that guidance the entire time I've owned our Chrysler Pacifica. You can trust Cassins in Glen Carbon with your car purchase. You don't have to drive out there first. You can give them a phone call, 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712. Tell them Annie sent you. Let them know what you're looking for. If they don't have it, they'll help find it. Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. When others can't, Cassins can. Online at cassinscan.com.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-age children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
All righty, we're getting ready to come into winter here, where we're going to be using our furnaces. A lot of you are getting prices now, or you're getting your furnaces checked and you're being told that you have an issue with your furnace and you need a new furnace. So if that is the case and you want a very simple common sense approach to picking a furnace, if that's the case, I'd appreciate you calling and giving me a chance to meet with you and discuss your options. So call me. It's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. Just one number. Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the web is bartinman.com. Now there's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You can help those affected by this disastrous hurricane season by visiting redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Message and data rates apply. Together, we can help those who've been affected. Thanks for helping. Conservatives Care on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Dad. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We do begin this hour with breaking news. Right now, Israel trying to determine if its forces have indeed killed the leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar. Two Israeli sources telling CNN that forces engaged 3 militants near a building in Gaza and killed all 3. The troops then found the man resembling Sinwar and alerted senior commanders, sources telling CNN that DNA testing is underway at this point. If confirmed, Sinwar's death would have massive implications on the region, the Israel-Hamas war, of course, and the hostages still being held.
Well, that is one Jim Acosta on CNN talking about the death of the Hamas terror chief leader Sinwar, and he has been confirmed to have been killed. As you heard Jim Acosta saying, this will have great implications on the situation in the Middle East. So we wanted to work in a great expert, our friend Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood, to talk about what this actually means for that region and for our role in the United States of America in trying to exact some peace there. Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood, welcome back to the show. Thank you for being here.
It is always a pleasure, a blessing to be with you. Thanks for having me on, Annie.
Thank you so much. When you heard about this news of Sinwar's death and the confirmation of it, what does that mean to you and to our role in the Middle East?
Well, for America, it would be like getting, bin Laden. So the mastermind of a terrorist attack, killing so many people, and then you finally get your guy. So there's a euphoria, an excitement about that, and a sense of vengeance or justice being served. But to the second part of that, what are the implications? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So does it cause Hamas to kill all the remaining hostages? Does it cause them to pause and then to release them because the mastermind is gone and people want kind of cooler heads? And we don't know the outcome to that. So for the U.S. government, U.S. military forces in the region, and certainly for the Israelis, it's kind of a stress-filled waiting game where they have to be ready for anything, not knowing when that anything might occur.
Yeah, there are a lot of directions that this could head after his death. And, of course, those reactions will cause further reactions in the region. I want to know from you, to take this back a little bit, he is the architect of the October 7th attack a little bit over a year ago of today. Do you think that the United States and also the world understands the gravity of what took place in Israel on October 7th? Do you think we've understood completely what happened?
No. I think it's a simple question. Or answer, right? At least in my mind, only Israel knows what it's like to be bombarded on a daily basis for the last year and on a fairly regular basis for the last 10 or 15 years. So all of these capitals in London and, in Canada and Germany and Poland and the United States calling for a two-state solution or a peaceful resolution, they are not countries that have been under assault like this for such a long period of time. And so if any one of these major cities was also under rocket and missile attack, suicide bombers, all the things that we have seen in the news, they would more properly understand where Netanyahu is at and where the national security establishment in Israel is at, that they have to stamp out entities like Hamas and Hezbollah, and they have to so bloody Iran that these entities decide to refute themselves or to step away from their objective of the elimination of the state of Israel. So I think that the West still doesn't understand the gravity of October 7th or what it's like to live in Israel when you're surrounded by enemies that want to see you disappear.
When we hear people refer to Israel as the little Satan and potentially the United States as the great Satan, is the United States' involvement in this conflict, when we hear about Hamas hating Israel and, of course, hating America, is there hatred for America just simply because we support Israel? Is it separate? Is it its own entity that exists on its own, a hatred for our culture, for our Western existence in the United States of America? Or do all avenues go through the existence of Israel?
Well, I think it's a combination of the two. I think the more direct hatred is because of the linkage to Israel. So, these politicized, hyper-violent Islamists, it's not all of Islam. I mean, you don't hear the same kind of threats out of Indonesia or other countries. So, but this strain of Islam so detests Israel and Jews in particular that U.S. support extends that hatred to the United States. But if we think back to September 11, 2001, America was an iconic representation of Western ideology, Christianity, philosophy, economic system. So Osama bin Laden saw a great strike at the United States as a representation of the strike against the West. So there is a larger context or story where this hatred of America is more broad and more generalized.
We're speaking with retired Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood here on the Annie Fry Show. So when we talk about Hamas and we talk about the attacks on October 7th to Israel, it often leads back to Iran and the understanding that Iran has an interest in funding these terrorist organizations that attack Israel, that hate America. Does Iran have a reaction? We just saw them, bombing Israel a week or two ago. Does Iran have a compulsion now to respond to this death of Sinwar?
Not to respond, but I think they'll double down on their own defensive thinking. So they're going to be very guarded against an emboldened or more animated Israel. That Israel has been extremely sophisticated and effective at sequentially eliminating the political and military leadership of Hamas, of Hezbollah, even Iranian officials with the Quds Force and the Iranian, Revolutionary Guard Corps. So it's like, wow, who can stand against Israel and their intelligence service? Remember the pager attack and walkie-talkies and all this stuff. So we've had the bad guys in this story ineffective. Israel has been wildly effective. So now that they've taken out the military leader of Hamas, who is next on that chain?
It's been quite something to watch, almost theatrical, in the way that Israel has been able to surgically go after the people who they have deemed to be their enemies. And you've seen a very much so like an Israel first. They're going to do what they need to protect themselves, and they know that across the world, geopolitically, with their allies across the world who might be publicly saying, ceasefire. You've seen the President of the United States talking about the ceasefire. People who are trying to become the President of the United States, Kamala Harris, talking about a ceasefire. And in the midst of all of that, Israel has continued to go down the path of doing what they need to do in order to protect themselves. Is this bold for Israel to do this? Or do you feel like this is what Israel has always had it in them to protect themselves this way, regardless of the political pressures from around the world?
Yeah, it's a survival instinct or reality in Israel. So nobody else has really stepped up to provide them military forces in an offensive way. It's been great defensive support. Here are some more missiles that you can use on your own in your air defense systems, or selling ammunition or weaponry. So it's been the ingenuity of the Israelis that will take a Western product and actually make it better and more effective. And because, it's the only Jewish majority country in the world. There are 50 Muslim majority countries in the world. Where else do Israelis have to go but the state of Israel? And they've been under attack, 6 major wars since the founding of the state of Israel. And the Jews as a people have been subject for abuse over centuries. So I think it's embedded in the societal DNA of Israelis to do what they have to do to survive and to make their way in the world. And I think the really incredible story is they have done that with representative government, with a capitalist economic system, with an amazingly advanced education and manufacturing sector. I mean, you don't see that replicated anywhere else in the world.
Yes, and a diverse people among them. There are Muslim people who are in Israel, and I think the people don't always know the crossover there. How do you characterize the relationship right now between the United States and Israel?
Complicated. It's on the one hand, we're going to send one of 7 THAAD, very sophisticated air defense, missile defense systems to Israel. And yet there was this letter from the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense that said, if you don't increase humanitarian support, we might cut off support, monetary support to purchase more munitions. So how do you give them weaponry and then threaten the removal of that weaponry? unless they behave in a certain way. We did get a concession out of Netanyahu, who said that his reprisal against Iran in the wake of the 200 ballistic missile attack, several weeks ago, that he won't strike their nuclear complex, and he probably won't strike their energy production capabilities, limiting the strikes against military targets. And yet, it's another risk that Israel is taking, because why else would Iran have the nuclear program it has unless it is searching for a nuclear weapon? And Israel can just imagine the horror story of its arch enemy, Iran, with nuclear capabilities. So this relationship between the U.S. and Israel is in the context of our own domestic political environment. Nobody wants to get involved in another major war in the Middle East, but this timidity and this conditional support by the United States might get us there anyway.
Ugh. Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood with us. Last question before we let you go. With the death of the Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar today, you referred to it as euphoric for Israel because this is such a personal accomplishment for Israel and the tragic occurrences of what took place on October 7th. Does somebody else just fill Sinwar's shoes and step in and then things kind of carry on the way they were before? Or is this a dramatic change in the course of events?
I think somebody else will fill in the shoes, just like there was another leader of Al-Qaeda, that rose to replace bin Laden. Probably not as effective. It will generate a lot of debate within Hamas between those who have to keep the fight going, we have to avenge the death of our leader, and others saying, holy cow, we've lost so many people, there's so much blood spilled. Well, what do we do with the 100-some-odd hostages that we still have? Are they still bargaining chips? Or do we buy off Israel by releasing them? So those debates aren't known to the outside. We don't know how they're resolved. But at least in the interim, you will see political and military replacements there in Hamas, just as you have seen replacements kind of step up on Hezbollah.
Well, Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. Big news story that developed right before the show, so we appreciate you working us into your schedule this afternoon.
Blessings to you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much as well. God blessings to you. Good to have the Lieutenant Colonel on to talk about this. Big news. I think it's important to understand the relationship. You remember where you were when Osama bin Laden was announced to have been killed? I remember where I was. I was sitting at the pinnacle table. And it was a big news story. And it was something that gave a bit of a finality to a very, very difficult decade, I think it was, near decade, by the time Osama bin Laden was finally killed. So Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, killed today by Israel. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Brandon Strzok's going to be with us. I'm excited to bring him back on. He is the founder of the Walk Away movement and has quite a story to tell, of course, but he has his clear eyes on what the left is trying to do in our country, specifically with this election, specifically with their candidate. So we'll speak to Brandon Strzok when we come back. And I want to remind you, tonight, there is a sip and shop event at the Diamond Shop. If you go to thediamondshop.net, you will be able to see the details of their sip and shop event. But they have a special engagement ring sale. I believe it's 30% off engagement rings and $100 toward the future wedding band purchase that you might be making as well as that engagement ring purchase. So put it on your calendar tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Diamond Shop. The amazing people there offering a great deal on engagement rings. And you're not going to want to miss it. 5:30 to 7:30 tonight in Clayton, Missouri at the Diamond Shop. Brandon Strzok on the Annie Fry Show. Next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan want to make sure that you get the best possible rate on your new mortgage or your refinance. If you've purchased a home in the last couple of years, rates were sky high. They've come down since then. Maybe you hope that they go down even more. But don't sit on the sidelines while you wait and hope that they go down, because you can do a refinance with the Bagel Loan with Stewart's American Mortgage right now by calling 314-324-4440. He can close in less than 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing. You can lock in that lower rate, and here's why. You go to Stewie to do this at American Mortgage Company. You go to Stewie because you can do it with the bagel loan that involves zero closing costs. So a lot of times it seems punitive to go through the process of a refinance because you have to pay so much to do it. It's like, how much am I paying? How much am I savings? How long does it take me to realize those savings? Talk to Stewie. Zero closing costs makes this an absolute no-brainer. I've done it twice myself. I have a wonderful rate on the mortgage for my home right now, and it was all through Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can call him or text him directly there. Google the bagel loan for more information, and MLS number 226715.
If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with TrueHold's Sell and Stay. You can literally sell now and move when you're ready. When you sell your home to TrueHold, you can cash out your home's equity quickly and easily, and you can stay in your home with a flexible standard lease. TrueHold pays property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs too. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a no-obligation offer now while home values are sky high. You could use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's equity without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Terms and conditions apply. See website for more details. When Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com talks to people about health insurance, they tell him, 1, my premiums are too much. Number 2, my deductible is so high I never meet it. And 3, my doctor doesn't accept my plan anymore. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance and available all year long, so you can enroll today. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
We talked to Kilmeade earlier. Brian said that what she wants to do is show that she's got a command. And I think that was the overriding goal. I don't know that she accomplished that, though.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Good morning, kids. This is how freedom fell. Our world ended, and things never got better. Tyrants took it all away. And now tyranny's here to stay.
Well, that sounds absolutely bleak, but maybe something that a lot of us are looking to the future and going, what is at stake in this upcoming election? And what are the people in the far left who have really gotten a grasp over the Democratic Party? What are they trying to do? What is the end game here? Well, we bring our friend Brandon Strzok onto the show with us, the founder of the Walk Away movement and the feature of this this great video that you can see on his Twitter timeline. I'm going to tweet it out on mine @Annie Fry Show as well. Brandon, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being here with us today.
Always good to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Tell us about this video that's about, the subject of it is tyranny. That's a big word, and it's one that I think we're a little closer to now than maybe we have been in our lifetimes.
Yeah. Well, so basically, Walkaway Campaign, we just put out this 5-minute, kind of like a little 5-minute short film, and it's it's a little bit concept-y, I'll tell you that, but it's essentially kind of what it is almost like the backstory, I guess I would say, is that a future civilization sort of finds this educational, it's an educational video in the style of a 1950s educational film, teaching a future civilization how America as we know it today fell. So it's in kind of a dystopian future. America has fallen because the Democrats were reelected in the 2024 election. And basically, the communist plan to destroy America ends up being successful. And so in this film, which is 5 minutes long, there's 4 steps that we talk about how tyrants destroy free nations. And we kind of go through it. But again, it's kind of in this old-timey black and white 1950s educational film. But we use some really kind of cool modern imagery of, different, whether it's people in the media, social media, tech giants, Democrat Party, politicians, all different kind of people who contributed to the impending downfall of America. And I know basically we just tried to do something that was kind of visually and interesting and cool to show people what can happen if we don't get it right in the next month.
Yeah, I think listening to the weird thing about the Kamala Harris part of this whole process is not that she's so radically far left that what she is proposing to the American people is like so scary that you'd want to vote against it. It's that she's not even being pressed to tell us what she stands for. We got to see Bret Baier interview her in a shortened interview because they showed up 17 minutes late and then were apparently like trying to land the plane saying end the interview at the end. And so he didn't get the full 30 minutes he was originally promised. But that was one of the first times I've seen anyone not let her just spew talking points and then move on to the next subject. She doesn't even have to tell the American people what she would do with the power that she would be afforded should be elected the president of the United States. And all we're supposed to know about Donald Trump is orange man bad, scary dude, don't let him get into office. Like the lack of substance here is actually what becomes the most frightening to me.
Well, 100%. And she doesn't, it doesn't even have to be about her. I mean, all it has to be about, look at Biden. I mean, like literally, this is a man who at this point he's not even really aware of where he is or what he's doing, which is another reason why he became a perfect candidate, I think, for the people who are actually pulling the strings. But it's about putting some sort of complicit figurehead into that position who is controllable. And Kamala Harris is very controllable because she's not very knowledgeable. And Biden was very controllable because, first of all, I think he's morally compromised, but second of all, he's also cognitively compromised. And that made him a very malleable, controllable figure. So, part of the process of getting us to where we are today is convincing the populace that the alternative, which is to say Donald Trump, is absolutely unacceptable, absolutely not a viable alternative. So if you convince people that it's a question of voting for Hitler or voting for anybody else, most people who believe that that's the scenario are going to say, well, anything is better than Hitler.
Right.
So yeah, she's not great, she's stupid, she's unprepared, she's whatever, but she's not Hitler. So we're going to vote for her. And then once they vote for her, and if enough people vote for her, or if enough votes are tabulated in her favor, then she's controlled by whomever is really pulling the strings.
Yeah, it's completely true. We're speaking with Brandon Strauch, who's the founder of the Walk Away movement, which I think is really important to highlight here, Brandon, because you were doing this before. There is a movement out there right now that is following in your footsteps. You were a very passionate voter, very heartbroken when Hillary Clinton lost in 2016, and you've told your story, and so many people have seen your story, and I bet you there's so many people who aren't even willing to publicly admit that your story is their story right now. But you've made it okay for people to say, this Democrat Party is either A, not what I thought it was, or B, they've left me and they're not for me anymore. And people are walking away. Why do you think that that's really kind of picked up some momentum maybe in the last 6 months, year or so, of what we've seen from the Democrats who do have power right now? Kamala Harris is in office right now in an administration.
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing that up, because it's something I've been talking about a lot recently. You know, people are asking me, what do you see in the last 6 months or the last year in terms of shift and momentum within the walkaway movement? And the first and most notable thing, I think, is the number of high-profile people who are now publicly talking about walking away. And second of all, the number of people in public office, from all the way from local state legislatures, and local offices, all the way up to the federal government. I mean, if you look around California State Senate, Gloria Romero, she very publicly walked away. Texas Congressperson Sean Theory, Georgia State Rep Misha Maynor, all the way up to RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and so many other people are very publicly walking away. And so my answer to why is this happening so much now is that I truly believe, and not to pat ourselves on the back too much.
Pat away.
You deserve I'm going to.
You deserve it. Yeah.
I'm going to, because what I believe happened is that 6.5 years ago, when I started Walkaway, well, first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, the heart and soul of Walkaway, what we do is our testimonial campaign. I launched a video 6.5 years ago talking about all the reasons I was walking away, and created a social media group encouraging other people to join, share their stories. And over 2.5 years, we grew to 500,000 people, and literally tens of thousands of videos and written testimonials of people talking about why they're walking away from the Democrat Party. And so I believe what Walkaway has done is created an atmosphere where it's now not only safe and supported and kind of normalized to share your story about walking away, but I would actually argue it's become kind of cool.
Yeah.
To talk, to say, hey, I'm leaving the party. I'm not doing this anymore. I mean, 6.5 years ago, when I told my walkaway story, I was brutalized for what I did. And I mean, to be honest with you, I continue to be brutalized. I in the last 4 years, I've been raided by the federal government. I was put in jail. I was falsely accused of crimes I didn't commit. They used those false accusations to ban me on social media, ban me from banks, payment processors. I mean, I can't even list all the ways that my life has been turned upside down. But they did that to me for being kind of a front runner in this movement of encouraging people to speak up and be public about leaving the Democratic Party. Now, everybody's doing it. And that's great. Like, I mean, it's worth it to me to have gone through what I went through if we're now at a point where it's becoming almost normal for people to say, I'm done with this party. Yeah. And not have to suffer the same consequences I did.
Completely. And, I think that usually what's trendy is usually what's counterculture. And you were counterculture. You were one of the initial people to be able to go out and say that you were for Hillary. You were brokenhearted when she lost the race. You've referred to yourself in your community as a gay man about having to walk away from the culture that exists around it, and to really invest in yourself by saying, no, the Democrat Party isn't for me. And to even, there's one thing to like walk away from the Democrat Party, but it's another thing to walk into the Republican Party as it looks right now, because there is a little bit of a purgatory that exists in between. You can call yourself libertarian or independent or whatever. Donald Trump has come on the scene and really reformed what the Republican Party looks like, so much that the Liz Cheneys, Adam Kinzingers of the world, several people who were really shoved into Donald Trump's early administration by the bureaucracy, they've all said that the Republican Party isn't for them. And I'm like, what an awesome swap for the Republicans. The people who we are purging and the people who we are annexing, win-win for the people on the right side of the aisle. And you were very much so one of the leaders of that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think certainly I can't underestimate the impact that Donald Trump. I really truly believe that if Hillary Clinton had won the 2016 election, that I would still be a liberal. I think I would still be a Democrat, and I would still be believing every lie the left-wing media tells. It's hard to even imagine, where we would be today if that had been the scenario. But, Donald Trump's election caused such a disruption and an upset in my life personally, not to mention the lives of, tens of millions of people in this country, many of whom are still believing what the left-wing media is saying. But it was that disruption that got me asking questions and got me investigating and searching for answers. And that investigation is what showed me, it was like the greatest murder mystery of all time, because it was like reading a murder mystery and discovering at the end that you're the killer. Like, oh my God, because I was just like, oh my God, it's not, the problem is me. The problem is what I was believing, what I was listening to. And, so yeah, I can't overestimate enough the impact that Donald Trump, I think, had on me waking up and walking away, and that began the catalyst of me creating this movement, and then the impact that it's had on so many people. Because the one commonality in almost every walkaway story is a feeling of betrayal. No matter what it was exactly, the specific incident that led people to have their eyes open, the common thread in every walkaway story is that there's a realization we've been lied to and betrayed, and that was usually by the Democrats or the media or someone on the left or something on the left, that suddenly a light went on. It was like, I've been betrayed.
Brandon Strock with us right now. Before we let you go, I'm wondering, I don't want to count my chickens. The polls look like they favor Donald Trump, but like you said, I think you said it like, we'll wait to see how the votes are tabulated. I think you very carefully said earlier. If you have a Donald Trump 2016 victory and then a Joe Biden 2020 victory, and then people get to immediately see, there's going to be a dramatic difference should he win this election. People are going to quickly see the difference in a way that in my lifetime, I was born in 1984, and in my lifetime, I haven't seen back-to-back contrast in such a different way of governing between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, that should Donald Trump win this next election, the push that people might need to walk away from the Democrat Party to see, like, you know what, maybe it is the party, just like you said, maybe I have been lied to have their eyes wide open, that a Donald Trump victory will really be able to allow the Republicans to just simply point to the scoreboard to say, see, we've been telling you, welcome to the good side. Come on over. The water's fine.
Yeah, I think so. Look, my personal journey was that I walked away from the Democratic Party and I became a Republican, a MAGA or America First Republican behind Donald Trump. I got to be honest with you. I'm not like the hugest fan of the Republican Party, although I am a registered Republican.
Where's your concerns? Because I think that's natural to leave one party and to come into another one and not be like, everything they say is fine. Or how they do it.
Actually, I did kind of feel that way at first. I was super stoked to be a Republican for the first couple of years, but then I started to see what I feel like are just these massive shortcomings, which we would probably need another 2 hours to get into all of it. But in a nutshell, I can tell you, I'm very bothered by the fact that the Republicans, I think, they're weak, they're impotent, they're to a certain degree disloyal, they're I can tell you that I spent 2.5 years traveling the country, going into college campuses, minority communities, the, low income Black neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods, doing walkaway town halls, events, debates. I mean, we talked to thousands and thousands of people all over this country. And I would say doing the work that the Republican Party should have always been doing, but didn't do, and still isn't doing. And then when I did what I did so well and so effectively that the full might of the federal government under the Democrats decided to try to stomp me out and destroy my life, the Republican Party that I sacrificed myself for in service was kind of like, Brandon who? Brandon what? I don't know what you're talking about. And that's egregious to me. I mean, that turns my stomach. So I have a real problem with that. And look, we just have to get through this election, but there needs to be some really honest conversations after this election about what this party stands for, and if they stand for people and values for the people who are being effective activists and voices in their movement. We need to have a lot of conversations because I learned some crushingly difficult lessons in the last 3 years, and that can't be allowed to stand. And the reason why the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you mentioned, pointing to a scoreboard if Donald Trump wins. No, I am not going to stand behind a party that puffs out its chest and points at a scoreboard if we have a victory, because frankly, they didn't really do the work if Donald Trump wins. It will not be because of the work of the Republican Party. The Republican Party should count themselves lucky if Donald Trump wins, and they should not be boasting about a scoreboard because they didn't earn the points on that scoreboard.
The grassroots that have gotten the successes that we have seen so far and the ability to bring Donald Trump back onto the scene so that he can have the possibility of a second term, the grassroots are what is making this possible. And to your point, exactly, we've been saying this a lot. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. So we know, I live in Illinois across the river, blue state, Missouri, red state, but St. Louis, blue city. And we just see the just despair that exists all around us because of the Democrat policies that take place. And it's like, there is something good for Republicans to invest in time here to go and get people to participate in the system. And if the party doesn't want to do it, if the party doesn't want to, on a national level, make the effort, and grassroots do, and they actually do pull people into considering something different for the first time, they better get seats at the table for the new Republican Party that hopefully we will be ushering in November 5th of 2024, because you are exactly right. People like you, other people in the movement who have been very active in talking to those same areas that you have. I want to see you get your due in this, because I know that you have suffered at the hands of the success you've had. And that's why we want to keep having you on the show here, Brandon. We appreciate your voice. We want to make sure people still hear it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. And I mean, look, if we do see a victory next month, and I certainly hope that we do, Walkaway had a huge part in that. Donald Trump's not going to be reelected without the help of, I'd say, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people who left the left and decided to come over to our tent and vote for him. And, I think it's not about, taking credit or patting someone on the back, but I think it's about acknowledging that's really hard work and it comes with a lot of sacrifices. And I think that when somebody does that work well and effectively to the point where they're brutally targeted by the other side, we're supposed to be a unit, right? I mean, we're supposed to be an army.
That's how the left
right?
usually operates, for sure.
Yeah. And for a side of the aisle that, cares so much about the military and things like that, it's like, well, let's not leave our men behind, right? Let's operate more as a unit and as a team and not turn our backs on each other when we're, getting the hell kicked out of by ourselves by the left.
Yeah. I think you're spot on, and the walkaway movement has been wonderful. I want to encourage people to go to your Twitter account, your X account at Brandon Strug, and check out that video, because it's a unique way of telling a futuristic kind of story that we might be living in right now to make sure something like that never actually has to occur. And sometimes you see those things and you go, okay, now I see where we're going with this. We got to stop it from happening. And tyranny is at our doorstep. We need to be sure that it does not enter in. Brandon, thank you for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. Great to speak to you, too. And if I could say very quickly, too, I'd also, in addition to going to my X, I'd encourage people to go to the Walkaway Campaign YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. And you can also find the video there, Walkaway Campaign YouTube channel. Please subscribe.
We will be sure to share that on our socials as well. Sounds great, Brandon. Thank you so much. It's great to have you here.
You too. Thanks.
Brandon Strzok, the founder of Walk Away, has got quite a story, quite a journey from voting for Hillary Clinton in 2016, suffering that loss, and then walking away from the party January 6th, and everything that they have done, that they did to him in the wake of that. And it's not something that you would wish on anybody. We always appreciate when he comes on with us. Quick break. When we come back, more Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll. We want you to check out and vote in. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? Join us on our Annie Fry YouTube channel to vote in the live chat there, and go subscribe to the Walk Away campaign YouTube while you're on the app. We'll be right back.
Hold on so nervously to me and my drink.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And I feel awkward as I should. This club has got to be the most pretentious thing since I thought you.
Jen Teskey and Remax Alliance want you to give them a phone call if you're thinking about listing your home in Illinois. When you call 618-541-1010, that's 618-541-1010. You're going to be connected with the Jen Teskey Remax Alliance team. Jen will help you guide yourself through the process of listing your home, making sure that it is positioned in a way for a top sale. Jen understands the market. She has a team that knows how to get you the success that you want, and they know how to be honest with you so that you can know what to expect. If you have inflated ideas or, maybe undervalued your home, they're going to help you get top dollar for that sale and make sure it gets listed and shown in the way that does get you the best success. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. If you're looking to buy or sell in Illinois, especially the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, Collinsville areas and around about there, Jen Teskey and Remax Alliance are there to guide you through that process. 618-541-1010, jenteskeyhomes.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Do you worry about running out of money in retirement? Discover how you can make your money last as long as you do with Your Retirement Professors. Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, Charles Payne here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors that I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
We're talking about the Bret Baier and Kamala Harris interview from yesterday. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? We'd love to know what you think and why you think what you think. Of course, you can type in a comment when you go to the live stream. Type in Annie Fry at YouTube, and not only will the live chat poll come up, but the stream will come up as well, and you can type in a comment there while you vote. 152, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
But in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
I was just thinking about, this is like such an ending song, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to tell you were fired.
Oh, that'd be great.
I don't even have the ability to fire you.
If you,
obviously.
But
Just
hey,
kidding.
when I do get fired,
I'll stand there and play this on the guitar.
that'd be great.
Outside of Steve's office.
Yeah.
Oh, they slow walk you out
Yeah.
to the car and they're like, we need your card.
Yeah. And I just want, if you could, video it so that everybody knows that you did it.
Oh, we'll do it for the internet.
Yeah, please do. And then as I'm walking out, I just want you to, like, long shot down the hallway. Me at the very end of the hallway.
Me at one
Fist
end?
in the air. No,
You
just
at the
fist
other?
in the air, box in one arm, fist in the air in the other. Freeze frame, kind of zoom in at the end.
Steve Spartan kicks you out the door.
You're not fired. You have to stay.
Oh.
Sorry.
Be a good video, though.
Yeah, it would. We could still do it.
I mean, there's the video would be great.
We can do the video.
No, I mean,
you just got to come back the next day. We'll do it at the end of the
See,
day
I don't
today.
love that. I mean, I like having a job. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, the video would be cool. Like getting fired like that would be cool. But then there's my life. You know, I'd have to deal with the fact that I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Don't love that part.
Some people make a profession out of it.
Well, maybe I could do that.
You just got to Google it.
You know, I'm a smart guy. I could probably figure out how to live on the government for the rest of my life. I think I'm going to do that.
In a strange turn of events on the Annie Fry Show this afternoon, Ryan decided, screw this. I'm going to try to figure out how to live off the government, which the Annie Fry Show then reminded him was the people.
I've been paying taxes for long enough. It's time I get all that back.
Yeah, I know. At some point, what if we just all throw in the towel?
Well, I think that's what leads to Venezuela.
Is that the goal?
Yeah.
The economic collapse.
Pretty sure that
poverty.
If the government has all this money, why don't they just hand it out to us evenly?
I kind of agree with that.
Uh-oh.
You know, they can print as much as they want. I never really thought about this.
Yeah.
They can just print money. Why don't they print a bunch of extra money?
And then we could all have some.
So we all could have some, pay our mortgages easier, pay off our student loans, stuff like that.
We could just share the food.
We could probably, yeah. Hey, how about we go to a full barter system?
Okay. This is where my dad told me that I was a communist.
Like
That's how this started.
The money that everybody makes should be the same regardless of what you do.
And then everybody would be rich.
Everybody be rich. Everybody be equal, finally.
We should make the money that everybody gets a lot. You get a lot of money equally.
Yeah. Like if you think that making six figures is unattainable, you just wait till we get in charge.
Vote for Wiggins Fry.
Because we are going to implement
communism.
No. I hate that word. That's so gross.
Yeah,
but like
we should name it something else.
community
like
economics.
Okay.
Democratic
communism.
Something. And we still need to get voted.
Democratic communism.
There you go, because you vote for it.
You only need one more than the other guys.
I just want to congratulate us for taking that all the way to the end of the segment.
Thank you. It was a short segment. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? Let's have fun in the 2 o'clock hour. I'm tired of all this serious communism stuff. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
WindowWorldSTLewis.com. That's the website where you can just skip what I say and just look it up for yourself. WindowWorldSTLewis.com. But make sure that you remember that right now with Window World, if you're going to, you can call for a free in-home estimate at 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. Ask them for that free estimate and ask them about 36 months. Same as cash financing with approved credit. This is a great way to save on making that window replacement project a possibility for you, to invest in the thermal efficiency of your home and the beauty of your home. That's the part I really like. Make your house look pretty. If you are looking for new windows, ones that you can rely on, that come with a lifetime warranty, for glass breakage, for labor, and for parts, you can shop at Window World and have that confidence. 314-993-1800. When you call them, do not forget to mention the Annie Fry Show so that you can be entered to win 4 tickets to an upcoming St. Louis Blues game. 314-993-1800, WindowWorldSTLewis.com.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
President Biden calls it a good day for the world. Lisa Brady, Fox News. After Israeli forces killed the leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, in Gaza. President Biden says Sinwar was responsible for thousands of deaths, including Americans. And it was on his orders that Hamas terrorists invaded Israel last October to kill, rape, and kidnap. Vice President Kamala Harris calls his death an opportunity for the war in Gaza to end.
And it is time for the day after to begin. Without Hamas in power.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it's the beginning of the day after Hamas, but that for now the war is not over.
Hamas suffered a heavy blow today, but our target goal has not been completed.
Through a translator telling Hamas fighters, whoever lays down their weapons and returns hostages will be allowed to live. Fox's Trey Yingst in northern Israel.
What they have done today is they have chopped off the head of the snake. And the question now is whether or not Hamas will be able to regroup in small capacities inside Gaza to continue what has been a limited guerrilla-style war over the past several months against Israeli forces in Gaza, or if they will see this as such a heavy loss that they'll come to the negotiating table.
At the White House, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan just telling reporters Sinwar was a critical obstacle to reaching a ceasefire and hostage deal. The comments from Vice President Harris coming in between campaign events in Wisconsin. She's skipping an annual charity event in New York tonight.
The Al Smith dinner is hosted by Cardinal Timothy Dolan and the Archdiocese of New York. Cardinal Dolan said on his podcast he's disappointed Harris is not coming tonight, particularly because this is supposed to be about civility, patriotism, and unity.
Fox's Brian Yennis, former President Trump, will be there. Harris is sending a video message. America is listening to Fox News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We start a little bit of an October warming trend as we go through our Thursday afternoon. Nothing extreme, but feels pretty good. Sunny skies, 69 this afternoon. Tonight, the full moon under clear skies. Coming up when the sun goes down, 43 for the low. Friday, sunny and 71. 45 Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, 75 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with TrueHold Sell and Stay. You can literally sell now and move when you're ready. When you sell your home to TrueHold, you can cash out your home's equity quickly and easily. And you can stay in your home with a flexible standard lease. TrueHold pays property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs too. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a no-obligation offer now while home values are sky high. You could use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's equity without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Terms and conditions apply. See website for more details.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at IGotFloored.com. These are wonderful, wonderful partners with us at the Annie Fry Show with 97.1. They have been a reliable partner helping make free radio available for you over the course of years. Michael's Flooring Outlet wants you to know that when you go shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, you are going to get reliable customer service to help guide you through the process of purchasing flooring. Whether you're looking for hardwood, if you're looking for the Techwood Plus line, if you're looking for luxury vinyl plank, if you're looking for the carpeting, high-end carpeting, if you're looking for the Mohawk Smart Strand line, they have everything you need to shop, and they have wonderful displays so that when you go look at that flooring, you are going to be able to experience it in a way that's going to help you visualize your investment in your home. It's a very valuable thing to have those types of assets. People who eat, sleep, breathe flooring. That's what you get at Michael's Flooring Outlet, this family-owned and operated business in St. Louis with 3 locations available for you. All the details online at IGotFloored.com.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
Looking for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair. And hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
Mark Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voter's guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Mark Cox 2024 voter guide.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Last night's interview with Bret Baier, that was really something to behold. I hope y'all had a chance to watch it. If you haven't, spend the 26 minutes and 43 seconds or something. I saw the Trump War Room tweeted out, and it was like, new Trump ad, and it was just the interview.
Yeah, it was funny.
it was well done. Here's a part of the interview last night, and we're going to go through some of these and react to it.
Frankly, exhausted of Bret.
More than
people
70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person.
Why did she say it like that? And Donald Trump has been running for office.
Come on, in the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me.
Yeah. Womp womp. And Donald Trump has been running for office.
They told her ahead of time, look, this is only 27 minutes. If you can talk real slow, you can get by with less questions.
And just don't shut up.
Yeah, just keep talking.
People are like, Bret Baier talked over her. I'm like, I don't think that that's really how that went.
I felt like they talked over each other.
Yes. Yes.
Both of them were doing it.
Because she asked a question, or he asked a question, she refused to answer it, and he said no. He was basically like, no, this is my question. You're not here to just talk to Fox News viewers for 26 minutes about whatever you want to talk about, when it's actually about the viewers, the people who tune in to watch Bret Baier. Like, remember, people choose to tune into Fox News. People choose to tune into Bret Baier. They trust him. He has viewers. She is trying to access his viewers. She is not gracing anybody with her presence when she's talking to Bret Baier. She is there to speak to the American people who trust Bret Baier with their 5 o'clock hour every day or their 6 o'clock hour every day, depending on where they are. She has the honor to be able to be on his show. That's the way that works in television, but she doesn't treat it that way. She is disgusted from second one of this interview. She is allergic to the thought of Bret Baier, Fox News, and you if you watch him. That's the truth of the matter. That's why she was so hostile. She was not hostile towards you or towards Bret Baier. She was hostile towards you. She hates the idea of you. And Bret Baier says that when he's going through this and saying, like, listen, 79% of the people think that the country's on the wrong track?
79. Mm-hmm.
And her response is, Donald Trump is running for all of it.
You know what I mean.
And he's like, I don't know what you mean.
What? I have no idea what you mean.
I tweeted that last night. You and I both know that was terrible for Kamala Harris.
Wait, I don't know that we both know.
What do you think about her response there to that specific question when she's pressed on the issue of saying, everybody thinks the country's going on the wrong track, and she has no actual real substantive response.
It's a terrible response. I mean, it's awful. It's one of the worst answers I've ever seen to these questions that are really, I'm not going to say those are easy questions, though. She gets a lot of easy questions. That's not one of them. Bret Baier did not give her easy questions. Good for him. But they are questions you would expect as a candidate. And she is she had one goal in that interview. I think Bret Baier actually said this afterwards. That was to get sound bites at Donald Trump for other networks to play.
Yeah, the viral moment.
That's it.
Yes. Here's more from last night with Bret Baier on Fox News in their quick 26-minute interview.
You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And so that would be one change in terms of...
But they clap! They clap! Yeah, like seals.
She's not. She's not him.
What's the difference between you and Joe Biden? Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. He goes, I've noticed. And they're like...
Jokes.
Yes. Come on.
Also, I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
How? Details. Prove it.
How, Kamala? Madam
Vice President. He was so polite to her.
Mm-hmm. When he would address her,
which is the correct thing to do. I'm not suggesting some way, shape, or form that he shouldn't have been doing that, or that he didn't really truly mean it. But you can't be anything other than exceedingly polite in those moments, because then that'll be the story.
It's also just such a long title,
Madam Vice President.
To break into when you're talking to the president, you say Mr. President. That one you get Madam Vice President.
Well, it's the same as Mr. Vice President.
It just takes too long.
It's the same thing you would say.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President. Either way, it takes too long.
MVP.
That would be fine.
I don't think she did a very good job of explaining the difference between Joe Biden and herself. And I mean, so good on Bret Baier and his team for having clips ready to be like, you're not debating me, Bret Baier. You're not debating Donald Trump. How about you debate you? How about you go in on your own words? Brad, to have those clips ready for her to hear her words, those two responses to Colbert and to The View.
Oh, yeah.
That had to make her staff just go, are you freaking kidding me? That she would have that response in that moment, but to have her respond to her.
Yes. When I watched this, I had it on and I was watching it on my phone, and when they popped I wasn't expecting the clips, and when he popped the clip up, because I was like, "Ooh, I like where this question's going." And
I was
then it
really
was the clip.
Technically impressed with how it happened so quickly.
He just threw it, and there it was, and it was. I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant." And then she was forced, and the reason she responded the way she responded is she's trying to both run away from this administration yet take credit for this administration,
and nobody's held her feet to the fire.
No, and he just laid it out there. And the brilliant thing was, like you pointed out, was he used her own words against her. It's like, all right, you said this, and then you said this. What gives? Clear this up for us.
Yeah, I was very happy with the setup and also understanding. I mean, I've said this multiple times, Ryan. You interview people on your weekend show in Wiggins America. When you say initially it was a 30-minute interview that they were supposed to have, it got shortened. When they showed up, they said 20 minutes. It ended up being from start to finish, 26 minutes and change. That is not a long time to talk to somebody at this level, like when there are a million things that you'd want to discuss. That is not a long... People think that's a long time. It's not a long time.
No, it's not. They spent the first roughly third of it, maybe more, just doing immigration, because she wouldn't answer the questions on immigration. And if you have clips, which they did, if you have anything more that you could do,
which
one
is evidence. In a court of law, like if you're trying to make a point and you have evidence to go towards what you're saying, that makes a more compelling case. So you can't just skip over it. You don't skip over it in court because you're trying to squeeze it in. You have to present.
In the comedic world, there are comedians that they say, oh man, they've got a great hour set, but beyond that, they don't really have anything. And people kind of know them for that. Oh, they got a great set for this long, but they can't do Q&A. They can't do this and that. They got a great set. That's Kamala Harris. She doesn't really have a great set. She has a set that lasts about 30 minutes. And Bret Baier knew that coming in and was like, I know her set. I've heard her.
He talked about how he
Yeah.
studied how she answers questions. Did you hear him talking about that?
No, I didn't hear that.
I think it might have been with Sean Hannity, but he said, I went into this interview and I had studied her responses to the specific topics that I wanted to address. I knew how she would answer the questions, and that helped prepare me for how I was going to present those questions.
And so he was trying the whole time to get her off of the same comedic set.
The formula.
Talking
The
points,
same
yeah.
talking points, the same half hour she does on every show and every interview and the debate even. But I think what he ran into was that she was just going to stick to it and kind of talked over him at times. And he would say, specifically on immigration, his questions were great. They were tailored to her talking points.
His first question was, how many illegal immigrants have been released into the country under your administration? And
Yeah.
that's when she started you and I both know that what we're talking about here.
He knew she was going to go to the end of 2023 HB2 that was supposed to be a bipartisan bill. He knew right where she'd go, and she did. And the questions were tailored to that, and she couldn't answer them.
Which is preparation.
Yes.
What was really interesting too is after he said no, these people, these women were murdered by people that were let out before that even became.
Before that was his
and
point.
And she had to pivot back to that amnesty bill that the Democrats put out there that even Democrats didn't like at the beginning. She's like, well, we had that too, and if they'd have done it, just think about how much time we would have had doing that. It's like, that was a mass amnesty bill. Yeah, he was ready.
He was ready.
I was going to do one thing. Now I'm going to shift to the other because we're playing some of these videos so you can watch them with us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. If you are tuning in to see what we're talking about and vote in the YouTube poll, I want to play for you this clip where Bret Baier is pressing Kamala Harris specifically on the American people and how the American people feel about the two candidates, and understanding that we are a very divided country, very equally divided. It's not like it's an overwhelming support for one candidate over the other as far as we know right now.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
What the hell does that mean? What is she even talking about?
Well, Bret Baier asked, this is easy, right?
That's not what happened.
No, it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, Bret.
I know, but
It's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk.
And she's saying that like she's talking to a fifth grader who took their first math test. Like, it's so demeaning. Like, when Bret Baier is responding to Kamala Harris's very aggressive labeling of Donald Trump, saying he's unstable. She repeated that multiple times. He's unstable. He's like, listen, half the country likes this guy. Half the country is choosing to support the man you say is unstable over you. What do you have to say to that? And she's like, it's not easy. Why would anybody think this is supposed to be easy?
They misguided the 50%? Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about...
Oh, but she did. She did come out and say that the American people were stupid. She did actually use, in her own words, the idea that they were stupid. She said that herself.
And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
Ah, she said it right there. She just called 18 to 24-year-olds stupid, which is strange because it's a big voting block for her.
Yeah, and those people are probably almost 30 now because that was a couple years ago.
That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Anyway, back to the Bret Baier interview. More from
about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
She's getting real mad. She at that point, you could tell that she wasn't feeling it. She wasn't feeling Bret Baier in the interview anymore. Like, it was interesting to watch. I'll say that there was a person in my household. I'm not going to identify the person who goes, how come as she goes through the interview, her voice keeps getting higher? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. And then I wanted to, before we go to a break, we're going a little bit long here, but I want to play this last clip because I think this really shows her judgment.
You call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now he's unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room.
Okay, I want you to hear what she says here. She says that she's watched him from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and I want you to hear how strongly she endorses Joe Biden's abilities.
And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
So I've watched him do what he's done. That's right, Brett.
He's very experienced.
He's very yeah, we know that. He's like the most experienced person ever to do with the job. Ever. There's no judgment there in the wisdom and the wonderful decisions that he's made. She says, you've watched as he's done what he's done. I don't understand what that means.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
But
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office.
So you have a back-to-back questioning, which was like when I heard this in the car, I was listening to it on Sirius XM when I was driving from point A to point B with my kiddos. And when I heard her going in and elaborating on how unstable Donald Trump was, she is assessing his mental faculties. Kamala Harris is very confident, very bold in assessing the mental faculties of one Donald Trump. And out of the blue, I didn't even see it coming, and I usually kind of know where they're trying to snake their way. I have an anticipation on that. Donald Trump is unstable, and Bret Baier pivots and said, when did you know that Joe Biden was diminishing? And she's like, oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
She's like, Joe Biden's not on the ballot. And I all would be like, I wonder why. Because his mental faculties are in decline. And you, Kamala Harris, were saying like a week before you became the presumptive nominee that you couldn't keep up with him. But you know that Donald Trump is unstable right now. You're a political hack. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. Bret Baier called you out on it, and it was magnificent.
I don't know. I'm kind of learning. Like next time my wife asks me, did you just look at that woman? I'll tell you what I did look at. The sound of a child's laughter. The beauty of the creation around us.
You were on the couch. That's a yes. In fact, I did look at her. And even if you didn't, you in big trouble.
I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm going to tell you what I did look at.
It's your life. You do what you want. Hope you got a great couch. Let's take a quick break. Let's get some of the responses to the YouTube live chat poll, see what Brad and Brian think. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? I'm an absolute yes. I love it. I wish he'd had more time. I know he did as well. I think Kamala could have done without more time. Tell us what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what your vote is. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. Once your phone call at 314-513-0091 if you need a new furnace, boiler, heat pump, maybe an entire HVAC system. I was talking with Corey one time who owns and operates Air Comfort Service. He's like, we know that we're not like the most fun people to call. Like, you're not like, oh, this is great, everything's falling apart. Let's call Air Comfort Service or our HVAC people. They get it. They know it's not fun, but they do everything they can to make sure that when they are done helping solve your issue of getting you back into your comfort zone, that you can smile because you knew that you got the great service, the great products, the best from Air Comfort Service. And they'll leave you with a smile. If you are in the need of a new HVAC system or any pieces of it, reach out to Corey and the team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at 314-513-0091 and ask them about how you can save with Carrier Cool Cash up to $2,100 on qualifying HVAC equipment, plus 0% financing for up to 72 months, utility rebates, and tax credits for anybody who qualifies. Air Comfort Service makes it as easy as they possibly can, as painless as they possibly can, and I guarantee you're going to have the best service, the best products installed in your home. I speak from experience as a customer myself of Air Comfort Service. You will be glad you made that phone call. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of three, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
Financial health is more than just really the investments. You have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 7 a.m., right here on KFTK.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Keeping you connected and aware. In the world, the country, and the community. And offering more ways than ever to listen conveniently. Tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk or download the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
First touch of summer, she's got your t-shirt on. Sun's going down, school's out, stars are coming on.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being here with us. It's Thursday, which means it's Trish's back in with us for Annie, Are You Okay? Which I forgot. But I'm so happy when she walks in. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Hi, Annie and crew.
We'll talk about the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? You have to let us know if you were okay with that interview, and we'll get those results with Ethan in the next segment. But, yeah, let's do Annie, Are You Okay? Trisha, are you back in the swing of things yet?
Yeah, ish. I'm here.
How long have you been back? A week and a half?
This is week 2. Mm-hmm.
Does this feel normal?
Some parts of it. Yeah. Like today felt more normal where I was kind of getting in a rhythm, but I don't know, nothing. It's all.
Trisha's got a 3-month-old baby at home, so she is back and at work. And, everybody always wonders someone's going to come back after maternity leave, so we were all very happy that you did.
I am happy to be here. I did not sleep well last night, so we woke up at 4 and started our day, and here we are.
Yeah.
Fireworks? Or, baby?
No, the fireworks woke the baby.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Why
are there fireworks at 4?
Quite the event. That was what the baby asked.
Annie, are you okay?
Annie, are you okay? Man hiding from police falls through ceiling. This story out of Pennsylvania.
It's convenient.
It actually is for the cops here. This story out of Pennsylvania. A man wanted on a bench warrant had to be treated for minor injuries after he fell through a ceiling while hiding from the police who were there to arrest him. He was in the attic when officers arrived. They heard him moving around above them before he crashed through the ceiling and was taken into custody.
Sounds like a Chevy Chase scene.
Nice. Oh, there he is.
What a guy from Liar Liar. He wants your legal advice. Stop breaking the law.
Annie, are you okay with hide and seek?
So in our household, not everybody participates, but we do a lot of spooking and scaring. Do you scare your kids?
Not as much as I should.
That's exactly right. That's the right answer. Did you guys ever have did your parents do that to you when you were kids? To try to scare you?
My parents never did that.
No.
It was a war between me and my parents.
I don't feel like I got scared very much. If anything, I tried to do the scaring.
Do you like to be startled and spooked?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to arrange that. I got to write that down.
Damn.
Man, yes?
I tell you.
Ethan,
I worked with Ben Boyd for 2 years. I mean, I had no choice but to like it.
He was here yesterday and got me, and I'm still coming down from it. It is terrible.
Do you like to be spooked, Ryan?
No.
Startled?
I don't think so. Not really. No, I would not appreciate that.
Brad?
It's all right.
Trisha?
No. Let's get out of here with that.
See, this is where I'm a total hypocrite. I do not like it, and if you spook me, I might punch you in the face, and that's your fault, not mine. But you just know the risks when you it's my natural reaction to being scared is violence.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah?
But it's involuntary.
Oh, totally.
So
that's why if it happens and I hurt you, that's your fault.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's
Whatever.
your fault.
I will say that one of the cutest things in the world is when your little kids, my kids are a little too old now, when your little kids jump out to scare you and they think they really got you.
And you go, ah! And they go,
and they're
I got you, Dad.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
I got you.
Well, to your hide and seek question, hide and seek in our house usually is for the purpose of scaring each other.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're not really seeking. We're aggressively finding.
We do let's prepare for a government raid. And so we call it hide and seek so they don't really know, but we're like, uh-oh, Mr. CIA guy's coming. What you gonna do? Yeah, get behind the dryer.
Yellow lettering.
It's really weird in the same show where we're talking about implementing communism.
A court in Switzerland says it's okay for companies to force employees to clock out to use the restroom.
Really?
This started during COVID when a watchmaking company was called out for logging bathroom breaks. It's gone back and forth in courts.
A clock company?
It's a watchmaking company. Yeah.
That's ironic.
How timely.
Yeah, exactly. Let's all laugh at Ethan's joke just like we pretend to be scared when our kids spook us.
Yeah.
Good job.
See you guys later.
I was thinking it. Good job.
The law was apparently unclear. They finally found a court that agreed with them. However,
Sounds like Georgia. Go
They're
on.
court shopping.
The ruling said that clocking, no pun intended, out for bathroom breaks discriminates against women. So if they continue the practice, they will have to require to account.
Why does it discriminate against women?
I don't know. They said that they're required to account for gender inequities if they keep making employees clock out for using the restroom.
Dude, spend way more time in the bathroom.
It's because you guys have to sit down. That's why. That's the answer. It takes longer.
Yeah, we just walk in, hit it from across the room, we're out.
For everything.
It doesn't take that much longer. Plus, men sometimes take longer to pee.
And sometimes men sit down, too.
No, never.
No, we don't do that.
Never happened.
You don't sit down to poop?
Nope.
Not in world history.
No, same thing. Take it from across the room.
across the room. Reardon knows if I walk in,
Let
I'm
me
like,
get
for
another
three.
handwritten
He's
letter.
like, oh, let me watch out.
No.
Yeah.
Handwritten letter from that lady. It's coming my way right now.
I did
Will you
not
please
say.
just send it to Ryan? Don't send it to me.
Yes.
Send it to him.
Send it to Ryan and mark it like RE poop.
It's like the only handwritten letter that I've received that was just directly about the show, and it was like, please don't talk about bodily functions. I think that's exactly how it was phrased.
Like, oh, I can't talk about spitting either. I mean, there's lots of bodily function that aren't poop.
Yeah, but there's just one you like to speak about.
I'm not trying to. It's this lady keeps dragging me back into it.
Okay, was there a question?
Yep. Annie, are you okay with different bathroom times for men and women?
What do you mean? Like the differences?
Are you okay with them having to require different times?
Why would it take us longer?
I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
Just sitting down
I just said it.
Take that long.
It's longer.
Ethan doesn't sit down for anything he does in the bathroom. So
Wiggins is the one that threw out the from
look,
deep.
We don't sit down to pee. We do sit down to wash our hands on the male stools.
Proud of you for washing your hands.
You are fired. Give me my guitar.
Can you imagine walking into a bathroom? There's just some guys sitting there washing their hands, taking their time.
Yeah. Tim Walls. Go on.
Tim Walls.
Georgia sheriff is facing backlash for calling for backup after a Burger King got his order wrong. This incident actually happened in 2023, but unfortunately for this guy, he's up for re-election, and the body cam footage was just released.
You know what? They've been holding on to that.
You know they have.
They've been holding on to that.
You know they
He
have.
called for backup because they got an order wrong. Put that one in the file.
The footage shows deputies arriving with their lights flashing and sirens blaring. The restaurant employees did not know he was the sheriff, but they had locked themselves inside because what they told the deputies was they felt very threatened. This man was very upset. The sheriff, Big Mad, said his wife could not have mayo on her
The
Whopper.
sheriff what?
Was Big Mad.
Okay, I thought you
Big
said that was
Mad.
his name.
His name was
I'm
Big
like, well,
Mad.
that works.
No.
Sheriff Big Mad.
Sheriff Big Mad, it's his nickname now, said his wife could not have mayo on her Whopper, and that's what he was upset about. And at the time, it made sense to call for backup, and in hindsight, he maybe should have left. Annie, are you okay?
Not in hindsight, in normal sight.
In normal sight. But also, I guess, call me old school, but I thought you could have it your way. Kind of siding with the guy and his wife about the mail.
You're way too
my
proud of
question
that.
was,
you
Annie,
had that
are
one
you-
locked and loaded for a while.
Are you okay with mayo? So
No.
Sure.
You can still ask it if you wish.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cards Against Humanity is paying non-voters to vote. Did you guys hear about this one?
Paying them?
Yeah, the party game the wrong way. The party game company announced it will pay voters up to $100 but to be eligible, voters must have not cast a ballot in 2020. They must write an apology for not voting 4 years ago, create a plan to vote this year, and post a pre-written disparaging comment about former President Donald Trump on social media.
Well, I don't like that last part. And that was it until all the work, too.
The essay you have to write. My question is, are you okay with game nights? But I think that this story there's more to unpack there.
Cards Against Humanity is really invested in this. Why?
I don't know. They also hate Elon Musk. If you go to their website, it's all about suing Elon Musk for something.
Cards Against Humanity's website is about suing Elon Musk.
Are they? So they're against humanity. So are we to take this as a
Donald
positive?
Trump. Donald Trump.
There you go.
Make your own assumptions.
So
Okay.
is the apology meant to be written as a, I'm sorry I didn't vote because maybe if I would have, Trump would have gotten in?
You know, that's a good question because it doesn't follow logic.
No, it doesn't.
I
Or
don't know.
humanity.
Or humanity. I don't know.
Game nights are more fun than I think they're going to be. That's about all I can say about them. I'm not like scheduling them. But if they happen and I'm there, it's like, okay. I don't want to learn new games, though. You guys like to learn new games?
No.
No, but whenever I do, I'm like, this was fun.
Yep.
But I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yes, I hate it when you have to read the rules and you're all sitting around for 20 minutes trying to figure it. But at the end of it, I usually feel pretty good about myself. Like, I learned something new and I did
because you're a
thing.
winner?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know what the worst is? It doesn't happen very often. But when you do all of that work, you figure out how to play the game, and then the game really sucks. You're like, this was stupid.
Don't you just assume you were playing it wrong?
No, I assume the game sucks, which it usually did.
On a scale of 0 to 10, Ryan, how competitive are you? 10 is most.
I'd say a 9.
Okay, I'd say I'm a 9.5.
Oh, really?
What about you?
Can I
Ethan?
revise my answer?
No, it's locked in.
I don't like these
Call for
rules.
backup.
I think this game is stupid.
He's trying to turn over the table. It won't budge.
What is this
Ethan,
thing
0 to
anchored in the
10, how
ground?
competitive are you?
Probably a 7.5 or an 8.
Brad?
I'm probably like a 9.5 to 10.
I'm probably like, does this speaker go to 11?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm going to turn it up.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
What about you, Trisha?
Maybe a 7.
Maybe a 7?
Maybe.
Haha, we'd all beat her. You know what I mean? High fives.
I only sort of care.
That's about a 7. It's like, I feel it, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Like, not enough to act.
Yeah. You got one more?
If you want one more, I can do one more. Okay. FCC makes it easier to cancel subscriptions. This is a good thing, I think. The Federal Trade Commission is making it easier to cancel your subscriptions. The agency has finalized its time is money rule, requiring services to make canceling a subscription or membership online as easy as signing up for it. Cancel options must be offered in the same website and include the same number of steps. Annie, are you okay with the subscription world we live in?
I don't like that other people can subscribe you to things. But I think there was an email law that was passed not recently, maybe years ago, that said that there has to be an unsubscribe link in the email that you get of a subscription that you have. And I also thought I recalled it having to be above the fold, which means that when you open that email, it has to be before you have to scroll it all. And the fold is different for every resolution of every screen that you might be on. So it has to be listed in a prominent place. And I also know that email, I think Gmail does it, where you can like go unsubscribe to all the things you haven't participated in.
I feel
recently.
like that never works. First of all, you
Not
go through
enough.
like I'll spend a day and a half unsubscribing,
And then here they are.
I come right back.
Yeah.
I thought this was more, and maybe I read it wrong. I thought this was more like Netflix. When you go to cancel your Netflix, you have to like call your mom, who has to call your grandma, who has to get her credit card out, and like it's very hard to cancel anything.
I haven't had Netflix since they did the little girl weird thing. I canceled it then.
Okay. Any of them, Paramount,
but
Apple, anything.
I cancel everything, and then we just sign back up when we want to watch a specific thing on that, because like if it's $8 a month, that's the same as what it would cost to rent something or whatever. Like instead we just rent the service. And so I'm subscribing and canceling things all of the time. So it's like we can watch whatever we want, but if we want to sit down and we watch a movie as a family. We watched Ghostbusters the other day. Super slow. That's the first
new
time
one?
I'd ever seen it. No.
Oh, the original.
Yeah. First time I'd ever watched it through.
And you didn't love it?
I didn't.
Really?
I wasn't like mad at it, but I thought it was
A little slow.
84. I think it came out in 84 maybe.
Or maybe things just move faster now.
It just was too slow. My son liked it though. He thought it was funny. I think it was geared towards him.
The rules on this FCC thing, it sounds great. The rules sound as complicated as it is currently to unsubscribe from
Fair
something.
enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
If just a little reminder, if you're interested in subscribing to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, we are at 9,961. So we are 39 subscribers away from 10,000. And if we get to that 10,000 mark, we are going shopping at Johnny Brock's, and Ryan and Brad and I will pick out costumes to wear in the 2 o'clock hour of the Halloween Annie Fry Show episode. And we will choose that, and it'll be all on the YouTube channel. So come subscribe if you haven't. We are 39 people. 39 of you can put us over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Trisha, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for
We've
having
been waiting
me.
all day for it, and we're happy that you were here. Let's take a quick break. The results to today's YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you listen to the voices inside, they won't do you wrong.
Lutheran education is a click away. LESA. STL.org/Annie. That's Lisa with an E. LisaSTL.org/Annie. I want you to consider how accessible it is. You've not thought about this before. Maybe you're Lutheran and you've heard about Lutheran schools. Maybe you're not Lutheran and you haven't heard about Lutheran schools yet. All sorts of people of all different types of walks of life go to Lutheran schools. When I graduated from a Lutheran school, I graduated high school from a Lutheran school. I graduated grade school from a Lutheran school. I'm so grateful for that experience, those foundational building blocks that I still use today in my life. And I send my children to a Lutheran school. It is affordable. It's way more affordable than you're thinking it is. For your child, for your grandchild that needs an excellent education, even if they need the IEP accommodations and all of that, reach out to a Lutheran school near you or go online to lisastl.org/Annie to learn more. The extracurriculars that they have available to them, the music opportunities, the robotics, the STEM classes. You sacrifice nothing and you gain so much when you attend a Lutheran school. Parents, grandparents, consider this priceless gift to your children and their future. Consider a Lutheran school. LESASTL.org/Annie.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-296-7260. That's 800-296-7260. 800-296-7260.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? It's a bit of an exclusive poll in that you will have had to have watched the Bret Baier Kamala Harris interview, but do you think that he did? Yes or no? It is the YouTube live chat poll of the day, and we are about to give you the results. You can still get your vote in right now, though, if you go to YouTube and type in Annie Fry. Today's date will come up. It is 2:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon on a Thursday afternoon. Well, we aired the Bret Baier interview live last night. We did not have time for a lot of reaction. We're going to get to that here right after 3 o'clock in Fox News. We have Dwayne Patterson from HotAir.com with us this afternoon. Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor. All that and an audio cut of the day coming up.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I just walked back in and you guys were discussing the Bret Baier Kamala Harris interview.
Yeah, we're just talking a little bit.
Do you think he was fair?
You go first.
Me go first?
Yeah.
I think he was fair.
You guys should just talk over each other the whole time.
Yeah,
Just
you'd
give your
argue with
thoughts
one
at the
another.
same time.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Ma'am.
No.
Excuse me.
You go
Ma'am.
first, please.
Ma'am.
Please.
Ma'am, I'm talking.
I'm trying to
I'm
let
trying
you
to
talk.
talk.
Madam
Excuse
Ryan
me?
Wiggins.
I don't know what to do to get you to talk.
Madam Vice Host.
MVH.
In that sense, I think it was unfair. Actually, that is my answer to this poll, is that I think his questions were very good and very fair. I don't like, he seemed like he was trying to pack as much into the 28 minutes or 26 minutes as he could. And so he ended up talking over her, and she talked over him too. But in that sense, I'm going to vote no, that it wasn't fair, because there was a lot of crosstalk, and I just didn't think that came off.
I don't think he was packing a lot in. I think he was trying to drill her down on the single question that he was asking. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Annie. I think that he was trying to drill down. I think that he was asking follow-up questions, and if Kamala had her way, Bret Baier would have been like, so, southern border, and she would have something, Donald Trump, border control
Donald Trump
bill.
killed the bill.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, all right, well, I got to go to the next question. And he wouldn't let her do that. And he's like, no. How many people came in? Your administration gave this number. How many people do you think came in? And I think that was excellent. I think that's something that I, as a watcher, as an American citizen, wanted from hosts or from journalists that are asking, because they're supposed to be my voice. One of the things I tweeted at Bret Baier afterwards is, thank you for what you did. I felt like you were speaking for me tonight.
Yeah, I think that the part about Bret Baier's approach that I appreciated so much was very much so what we talked about yesterday about what I wanted him to do, which is to not go wide in the subjects that he covered. I wanted him to go deep into any subject that he wanted to cover, that he deemed of a priority to highlight, so that we could find out what Kamala Harris does when she's not allowed to just take over the interview and say something, and then the interviewer's like, well, that's not an answer, but anyway, moving on. He did the opposite of that, which is why I think it was incredibly fair to the American people. If people think it's not, did you think it was not fair to Kamala Harris?
Yeah, I didn't think it was quite fair enough to let her talk. I think he should have let her talk more.
You think that his pushing back was too much?
I liked that he pushed back, but I think he did it too much. Yeah.
What was he supposed to do?
I think he's supposed to let her just kind of ramble and then let her go into something and then jump in. And he kind of jumped in too quickly, I thought.
She showed up late, did she not? I was told she showed up late.
17 minutes late.
Their staffers were telling him that they wanted it to be 20, 25 minutes. They wanted to lessen the time.
Yeah, 30 minutes originally. And like you're saying,
That's on them. Bret Baier was forced, in my opinion, to have to do those things.
Great point.
I think that if it was up to him, if he would have had all the time in the world, he probably would have allowed her to have more time to speak. But it would have also been a very Kamala Harris thing to try and stretch things out and force them to not have to dive into a lot of different subjects, in my opinion. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, I did too. You want to give us the results of today's poll?
The YouTube live chat poll. Did Bret Baier conduct a fair interview? 416 votes, guys. This is a close one.
Excellent.
94% say yes.
Ooh, that is close.
6%
And apparently
say
Ryan
no.
has like 10 accounts and is voting no.
It's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I might be losing this thing.
I think it's incredible. I think that watching Bret Baier handle himself and talk, great point, Ethan, about the circumstances that he was in to have that interview. He said to, I think it was Sean Hannity that I was listening to last night, he made it seem like for a second they weren't even sure they were going to show up, that Kamala Harris was going to be able to make it in time to conduct the interview. So he was rushed because of the Harris campaign. And maybe it showed, but that's on them. 9,966 people subscribe to the Annie Fry Show. We just need 34 people. And we'll do something ridiculous for Halloween. Thank you to everybody who subscribed so far. And a reminder, on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, you can take 97.1 with you anywhere you go. You can check out our podcast of all the shows right there on that app, and crystal clear reception no matter what you do. Thank you for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk. Do not go away because Mark Reardon's coming up next.
Another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect